thank you for tuning in for part 5 of our Ultimate General playthrough. Uh, we just finished the supply raid mission, and again, that was a very quick battle, so we're going right into the next one, which is a sort of defend the supplies mission. We got the stay alert mission right before we move on to Battle of Shiloh. Now, at the end of the last episode, if you didn't stick around, we did go ahead and fill out our army, but one thing I noticed I haven't done yet, which I'm going to do really quickly, is I'm going to go ahead and start naming my infantry brigades just so I can tell them apart easily. Now, I'm only going to give it to names of my better units, and specifically units I'm going to make veteran. So usually I wait to a 2-star unit before I name them, but I'm going to go ahead and name the first unit of each division, because those are going to be my elite units. And what I'm going to do, I could go ahead and make this, like, for example, the stone, if I can spell, we could make that the Stonewall Brigade, for example, which is a historic unit. We could make it the Tennessee Volunteers, which is another historic unit. We could make them the Louisiana Tigers, which is another historical unit, but we're not going for history. I personally am a huge Warhammer fan, specifically Warhammer 40,000, so I'm going to name all my brigades after, that's right, Warhammer factions. Not just Warhammer factions, but chapters of Astartes Space Marines. Starting with my favorite, we're going to go with the very first, chapter, the Dark Angels. Or the first Legion, actually. And then my favorite Chaos faction, the Iron Warriors. So that's going to be my first two named units. Those are going to be my elite units for each division. Eventually everybody's going to have names, more than likely. Because eventually, especially my first corps, I'm assuming we're going to get at least 2 stars on each one of these infantry units, but we'll see. So let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and play Stay Alert. Hopefully I'll have some other Warhammer fans out there. If not, oh well. We're going to play Stay Alert. So General Johnson established his base at Corinth, Mississippi, in order to reorganize our Western forces. We soon expect Yankee offenses into Tennessee, and we must be ready. Corinth is a major road junction and a strategic supply position. You've been assigned to guard one of our supply line's vital points northwest of Corinth. Stay alert and prevent any Yankee raid into the area. So let's go ahead. We're going to start this battle. Let's see. We could have taken 10 brigades, but we haven't unlocked the next level in our army yet. So we're just bringing our 8, which should be more than enough, to be honest. Let's go ahead and start. Our army established a base at Corinth, Mississippi. A major railroad junction is a strategic position for the transportation of troops and supplies. Your post is at the northeast of Corinth at this vital point of our supply line. Our pickets have spotted Yankee cavalry movements a couple miles at north and west of your position. You have to prepare for a potential attack. Reinforcements have already been dispatched from Corinth and are on their way to assist you if needed. Stay alert, General. We cannot afford a broken link in our supply chain. Alright, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to put Siegfried and Rowlett sort of at the front, and then the early Iron Warriors up here, and the Dark Angels here. These two units will sort of bolster our reserves and make it so they can't flank us, specifically the Dark Angels. They then do tend to sort of try and move cavalry up this direction in this battle, so we're going to try and prevent that with the Dark Angels. Which they give you a position right here that you could sort of put them in. I find that that's unnecessary. I usually just sort of put them off to the side here. I feel like that blocks them a little better than having them in this sort of entrenched location. So we'll go ahead and start, and we're going to go ahead and put these people in to position pause the game. We are going to go ahead. Where are the Dark Angels? Do I want to use the Dark Angels for that, or the... We'll use the Iron Warriors, because technically they're not... I'm not building them as elite just yet, so we're going to go ahead and break off some skirmishers and put them ahead of Rowlet up there. I'm not sure if I did that. And then we're going to go ahead and put the Dark Angels sort of off to the side here. Alright, and then we're going to just sort of fast forward. Move Bliss in a little. And like I said, these guys are going to sort of stick in reserve, sort of in this position, just to sort of help both out Rowlet as well as Siegfried if they get attacked or if they get pushed. Yankee Cavalry is attacking, it says. We got some infantry coming in. Looks like the cavalry in the south, yeah. Dark Angels should be able to sort of take them head on. They're not very big units. I'm not sure how long I want my skirmishers to stay out here. But we'll give them some time out there to see what they do. They're in really good cover in that sort of farmhouse location. Have to move these guys up, fire into the flanks of these guys. That's what I'm talking about. They do have a little bit of an elevation step there. Although this game it's not as... If you play the original Ultimate General Gettysburg, it doesn't seem to be as important to have the high ground in this game as it was in that original game. That wasn't very effective. Let's go ahead. Maybe put the Dark Angels sort of in this railroad station there. At least that's what I'm assuming that is. It's a railroad station. Maybe put more out that way. Alright, let's go ahead. We'll reattach these skirmishers now. Enemy infantry spotted, so they're coming up here. So Rowlet's about to take some heat here. Siegfried is still unseen there in the woods. Let's move Bliss down the line a little, see if he can't resupply. Oh, they're actually doing pretty good over there. We're not gonna... They actually might be in range of this supply station right there, so I'm actually not too worried about it. They were forced back, the Iron Warriors. The skirmishers, they broke a little, but I think the only unit that I don't have on the battlefield is actually going to be my cavalry, and they should be coming up here when our reinforcements arrive. So honestly, it's probably better. Honestly, this mission is kind of annoying when you actually have a good portion of your army having to come up. So it's actually better that I have my cavalry as the only unit not on the field at the moment. I actually don't tend to like this defensive position just because it's sort of... Whenever you're in fortifications that are sort of at this sort of curve or sort of hook there, they tend to... That's not what I wanted. They tend to be able to... For some reason, like if they were shooting from up here, they would hit these guys in the rear rather than hitting this forward position, which would then cause their morale to break. So it's kind of annoying how some of these curved, fortified positions work. Siegfried, why are you doing that? Go ahead and move my general up, try and give him some morale boost. As he decided to try and charge after that unit after we broke him. I think that gets better when you have better leadership. I feel like that's the reason that happens. Once your units have better leadership, you tend to see that less. That could just be something I'm perceiving, but that does tend to be the case. Alright, come on, Siegfried. Rally. They will also rally quicker if they have better leadership. Typically, you want a brigadier general in charge of a brigade. That's not always the case. So as you can see, this is what I'm talking about. See how they're sort of shooting into their flank there, which is a bit silly. So now they're breaking. Siegfried's sort of responded. I totally forgot that I don't like being in that position. I tend to just put my guys in the woods here. So what I might do is have Siegfried swing down into this position. Dark Angel's doing pretty good out on the flank there. Now the issue is Early's sort of up in the wind, so let's go ahead. Go ahead and get Rowland back in there as well. The only issue with having the Dark Angels out here all by themselves, if the AI was smart, and it is smarter, like I said, on high difficulties, they would have charged in. With the Dark Angels flank exposed, they could easily cause them to rout with a good charge. Well, now that Rowlett's sort of responding to his initial, we're actually going to stop Siegfried, sorry guys, and have him just swing up and hold the sort of northern end of those woods there. So yeah, Dark Angels easily dispatch those skirmishers, that's why you have an elite unit. We should be getting our reinforcements here soon, which... cavalry against cavalry, I've noticed, isn't the most... Again, the game tends to struggle. You would think a shot cavalry would have no problem against a skirmisher cavalry, but it's actually the opposite. For some weird reason, skirmisher cavalry, I thought I had actually destroyed both those units, but I didn't. For some reason, skirmisher cavalry tends to be better than shot cavalry, which I don't understand. Not always the case, but it does tend to often be the case, at least in my experience. So we're holding, although we're not doing the greatest of jobs. Most of our units are actually not doing as well, although Cabell is just wreaking havoc. Oh, I have him with Napoleons, that's right. Napoleons are probably my favorite gun in the game to use, favorite cannon that is. Just because they tend to be pretty well at close range. They're fairly decent at long range. They don't do as much damage. They're pretty inaccurate, but what they can also do is they're great when it comes to launching shell into the enemy. So if you're getting charged a lot, if you're doing a lot of defensive battles or a lot of defensive fighting, they do tend to be a little bit better than other guns, I feel. But again, that's just me. Alright, we're starting to regain the upper hand here. Early's still not doing as good as you would hope. Nice thing about having all my units sort of pushed into one specific area is that my general is able to give them all morale at one time. Siegfried's probably the only one. We could probably sort of move my general up a little bit more. Maybe just barely push him in range of getting some morale boost. Well, now Early's out of it. So maybe not. I think Siegfried has enough cover that he doesn't really need the boost. Oh, well, actually that worked out perfectly. So everybody sort of here is getting the morale boost. Except for the Dark Angels, but they're not having any issues. A couple good volleys made MacArthur rout. Tuttle looks like he's charging Early there. I don't know, maybe he's out of energy or he thought better of it, I'm not sure. Hopefully we can make Hare run and then we can sort of take back the forward positions in the woods, because you never want to give up. You always want to try and keep your opponent out in the open. You don't want to give up. So right now we're both fighting sort of in the woods. So we're really just not really doing anything against either unit. Up here, as you can see, we just launched 2 volleys, maybe got about 15 men. Alright, the reinforcements have arrived. I charged a little early there. Don't know if they're going to end up getting them. Nope. So we'll see if we can't maybe push. See, they're skirmisher cavalry, so I'm sort of worried, even though it's we're pretty much even strength. What I might try and do is I want to try and clear this flank so I can move the Dark Angels in here in case there is still a lot of enemy infantry. They do outnumber us over here. What I might do, break off some skirmishers to sort of defend our flank over here. So we are starting to just sort of clear our flank. What I'll do, I'll put Stewart up here. Oh, I did still have one more unit. Okay, did not know that. So we're gonna go ahead and use these guys to sort of clear the woods, and then use that in conjunction with Stewart. The Dark Angels will go ahead and return to their previous position, although we might have them sort of angled down a little bit closer to our lines just in case we need to bring them in. We do seem to be holding pretty well now. Again, we are just not really doing anything against Hare there. That's the importance of trying to keep your opponent. Oh, I did not mean for that to happen to Stewart. Sorry. Knock it back down. Don't think Manson's really needed up there in the fight. That's why I'm not bringing him. What I really want to do is just sort of push this cavalry back to this side. That way I don't have to worry about this side at all. Their cavalry is moving through the woods, which shouldn't be an easy target, although they are starting to run. So we were just sort of out of range. I do want to sort of stay out of range of their skirmisher cavalry as well, though. Drop some skirmishers, maybe force them up this way, or at least have them chase them off this way. Oh wow, we do have quite a bit of cavalry down here just chilling out. And here I am with my lonely unit that already took 14 casualties because, yeah, it's kind of terrible. Shock cavalry, great against infantry, but they don't tend to be good at all against other cavalry. And really, shock cavalry, the only thing I really use them for, although I do use them a lot more than I do skirmisher cavalry, is they're great for charging down guns. They're great for charging down supplies. Like, I'm tempted to just sort of swing these guys up and try and swing down, but these infantry units are just too close for me to do that. I think this skirmisher unit is doing better than my main infantry unit. Well, it's definitely taking some casualties. All in all, though, we're not taking too much. Rowlett's probably the only one that's taken significant casualties here. The best part is, I mean, Rowlett is starting to rout here. He has taken a little bit more casualties than what we're comfortable with. And his morale is suffering for it, so I'm wondering if I retreat him, he's going to leave a huge gap right there. Right in front of my guns too, which would not be ideal. So I'm wondering if this is the time I bring the Dark Angels in just to sort of relieve him. Although it looks like he is starting to get a little annoyed that his cavalry isn't doing anything down here. Might be a good opportunity. Maybe isolate that cavalry unit. Swing Stewart over and around him. This is an ideal situation right here. This is what you're sort of looking for. Wait for them to rout and then send your shock cavalry in. That's really the only point where they, oh wow, they just, Stewart's done a great job against them. Gotta be careful with these skirmishers though, because I don't want them to be caught in the open. There might be an opportunity now. Let's go ahead and move Stewart all the way up onto that hill. I might have a small opportunity to wreak a little bit of havoc on these guns. Rowlett did just retreat, so we're going to move the Dark Angels in at a run. I wonder. Might be able to steal these supplies. Clear that tree line. Get in there. I am going to lose some men here, because we do have, I wasn't aware of that gun back there, so they're probably going to launch some shot into Stewart here. We might be able to get one of the gun batteries destroyed before that happens, though. Maybe even the second one. Oh, we are doing a fine job. That's the type of cavalry charge you're looking for. We might even be able to get the third gun. The Dark Angels swept in there at the right time. That's a lot of casualties. I'm not sure how many they had before that. Alright, now we can hopefully get that other supply wagon. That was very ideal up there. Very happy that that happened. The only thing that worries me is he is moving his cavalry up. More than likely to try and take back this. So what I'm going to sort of do, maybe swing Manson up. Try and help hold these supplies. And we have pretty much effectively broken them at this point. The only thing I worry about is probably losing those supplies again. Stewart did a great job. I can't believe he actually took out all 3 of those guns. I was really worried when that 3rd one appeared in the rear. It looks like they gave up because they lost track of our supplies, so that's great. So what I might have Mason do now, have him show up on their rear, although they do see Manson, sorry. So what I'll have him do is swing down this way as well. They are searching, I think. Oh, but the fight's finished. I'm not going to risk losing any more of these supplies or any more troops, really. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to finish this battle. So we did actually outnumber them, which is kind of surprising. It felt like I was outnumbered most of the time, but then again, I didn't have a whole lot up here. Because I still had the Dark Angels and, of course, Manson. That's about 3,000. So yeah, I mean, for the main part of the battle, we were outnumbered slightly. And they actually had a lot more cavalry, so that really skews a little bit. But overall, we were pretty evenly matched, although they had 3 guns that they lost all of, which is hilarious. Or 3 gun batteries, which they lost all of, which is great. We did take a little bit more casualties than I was hoping. I usually try and hope in this battle to keep it under 1,000. Which I've done in the past. I wasn't expecting. I forgot about Rowlett there, holding that curve. If I'd set him up in the woods, he probably would not have taken so many casualties. But I don't believe I lost any leaders, which is great. No, yeah, just a couple promotions. Cabell got promoted. Siegfried is now colonel. And of course, Goods taking both supply wagons, although one was almost empty. Not a whole lot of guns. We did rescue some of our Lamats, which is good, because now he's going to be under 500 for the battle. Although Shiloh, it's not really going to be one big for a cavalry battle. Not to mention we are going to have some cavalry that the game gives us as well, so I'm not too worried about it. We did get some Mississippis back, a lot of Sharps, that's good. If I ever make a skirmisher unit, at least... do I have... I might have enough. No, I won't have enough to make a sharpshooter, so I might make a skirmisher unit just for the next battle. We'll see how that works out. Alright, so we won the battle, 88,000 more gold, so we're really stockpiling the gold, which is good. That's exactly what we want to do, thanks to all those politic points. Manpower, we even got some more based on the prisoner exchange, for reputation, and the career point. Alright, so let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and start, let's allocate that career point. So let's go ahead and put in an army organization. That way we have our 3 divisions. And we are going to go ahead, who do we want to promote? Let's promote Jubal Early. We don't have any more to choose from. I got enough money. I am going to go ahead and hire a colonel rather than putting... I do tend to try and do lieutenant colonels when I'm just starting off a unit, unless I've unlocked the 2,500 men battalion. But I am going to go ahead and just do colonel because we do have a lot of money to play with. Sorry I'm sniffling a little. It's summer cold. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and replace all these guys with veterans. Wondering, let's just go ahead and replace this squad with veterans as well. And everybody else will be rookies. Rowlett will be rookies. It didn't affect him too much. Siegfried, he isn't going to lose his, so there we go. He might, nope, he has enough. So again, give these guys all discipline training. And let's go ahead and try and replace as many. We can do 43. So it almost puts him back up to 500. Almost. 12 men short of 500, and I know he did lose a few men. We'll put him back at 8 guns. Actually, thinking about it, I think I might rather, because I always try to do 3 infantry units per division. And then maybe 1 other unit, at least starting off. Once I start opening up more of these and getting up to 6 brigades per division, we'll play around a little bit more with it. In fact, I usually tend to try and have like a division of just cavalry and artillery, and then everybody else has infantry in it. But that's not till a later game. So let's go ahead. We're going to put Jubal Early in charge of the 3rd Division. We are going to... Let's go ahead. You know, Siegfried just got his nice shiny promotion. Let's go ahead and move him actually down here. Put another infantry unit in charge up here. Give them some Springfields. You know what? We're not going to do that. We're not going to spend money just yet. Let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and give our best unit. We're going to buy some Lorenz rifles. Equip them with that. We're going to go ahead and give the Iron Warriors those Mississippis that we just reallocated from the Dark Angels. In which, let's go ahead. Yes, sir. What I want. What? This is going to be the elite unit in my 3rd division. So what do we want to call them? What do we want them? Well, like I said, we're doing Warhammer. We can't... I almost don't want to do the Ultramarines because they're blue. They're blue, and that's Union. We might skip the Ultramarines. Let's go ahead and do all the Chaos ones first because we are the Confederacy. They're technically the bad guys. So we'll go ahead and do the World Eaters as the 3rd Division elite unit. Alright, so yeah, now let's start filling out. We do have some more Springfields to go around now. Give them some Springfields. We'll go ahead and buy Mississippis for this unit as well. So now each of the elite units, so to speak, have... Technically, probably should have made Whitting the World Eaters and moved him down, but oh well. So now we have some more Springfields to spread around, so we're going to go ahead and give him... We are going to go ahead and make him a Lieutenant Colonel. I don't want to use Major. We can apply that Major to my next cannon, because I think rather than skirmishers, I think I'd rather have another cannon. Probably bring in some howitzers for this battle. And we're going to move Stuart to the 3rd Division, actually. Because I really don't need my cavalry to be in the first 2. And then we'll go ahead and make another infantry unit. And we'll give them... Yeah, we got enough to give them all. I don't want to sort of mix it up. I don't want to give them palmettos. That would be a little weird. I'd rather try and keep it all Springfields while I have the availability for them. They're pretty much the exact same weapon. In fact, I think their stats are exactly the same. Let's just compare. Anything's better than farmer rifles. Don't even play around with farmers. 18, 18, 250, 250, 40, 40, 13, 5. Actually, the palmetto is actually slightly more accurate. And it actually has better melee ability. So actually the palmetto is actually the better weapon out of the 2. But we don't actually have enough in the shop. Or else I might actually give one of my units palmettos. So now we'll keep them Springfields. And we'll create. And finally we'll add another artillery unit to the game. To our battle bass. And where were those howitzers we bought? There they are. Or should I give them Tredigers? Should I go... Oh, I did not mean to do that. Should we go ahead and do the Tredigers? We have 7. Tredegar is a longer range weapon. Nowhere near as much damage as you can see, but the range... I'm trying to think Shiloh. Do I need howitzers? Would I rather the range at Shiloh over the damage? I'm trying to think. I think I would actually... rather go with the Tredegar. Do we have anything? We have some houses we can actually sell. Yeah, let's go ahead and go with the Tredegar for this battle. Keep Bass in charge. And that is where we're going to leave that. Let's go ahead and make sure for the armory, we have 100,000 gold to spend, or money to spend. I don't think there's any guns I'm missing out of the elite weaponry that I can buy. So the question is, do I want to start stocking up on other items, or just leave it as is? I might go ahead and buy these 1855s, just start giving us some more of those. I guess I could probably equip another unit with Mississippi's. I wonder how much will that cost me to give, let's say, Whitting the Mississippi's. Where are the Mississippi's? I could probably equip 2 more units with Mississippi, so let's go ahead and try. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's equip more units with these Mississippi's. We can effectively, not him, Manson here. He's the next 2-star unit. So there we go. That's actually, you know what? First Division should have the better troops. Actually, let's spread it out. We'll have 2 really good units in each division, or 2 starred units in each division, and then 1 rookie unit in each division. Actually, shoot, Gavin did not mean to do that. Let's go ahead and put a lieutenant colonel in charge of his division. So overall, I'm fairly happy. Let's go ahead and see how many men we're going to have for the battle. We do have both buffs, which is worse weapons for the enemy, and -5 to their army size, which means, of course, if you put reconnaissance in, you would actually be able to see how many Corps, Division, Brigade, soldiers, and guns he'd bring in. So we have just under 40,000 troops going into Shiloh when you add in the ones that the computer will give us, which the majority of the troops are giving us 24,000. We're adding about another 15,000 troops to the army. Actually, almost 16,000 troops to the army. So that's gonna be it for that episode. This episode, we're gonna play. I guess it's only 14,000. We're gonna go ahead and end this episode, and then we'll move on to the next episode, which we will start the Battle of Shiloh. Shiloh tends to be a longer one, especially if I can't win it on day 1, which is obviously going to be the goal. Definitely do not want their reinforcements to arrive on day 2. We do have that. I believe we are going to have the morale boost. No, we do not have any morale effects. So, do I want to go ahead? No, we'll keep the reputation for next battle. I could buy some more Lorens, but I'm very happy with what I have. All my starred units, I do have better weapons for, so I'm not too worried about it. Alright, so yep, that's where we are going to leave it for this episode. So thank you all for watching. I do appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.